so you can always revisit. And we have a channel on YouTube. It is youtube.com/Florida Wine Academy. And you can always rewatch the videos, okay? All good? All right, ready for Tempranillo? Okay, so guys, welcome. My name is Alessandra Esteves. I am, or was, a lawyer in my previous life. And nowadays, I am the Director of Wine Education for Florida Wine Academy. So I have the Diploma in Wine and Spirits, which is the level 4 of the DipWSET, is the wine certification. I am a Master of Wine candidate. I teach a couple of things. You know, I am a Bordeaux tutor. I have a Champagne Master level. I have the French Wine Scholar, Certified Specialist of Wine, and Master of Rioja. So tonight we'll be talking about Tempranillo. Okay, and if you don't know Florida Wine Academy, we are in downtown Miami, and we do teach classes inside the classroom. It is just now with this situation, we have been doing webinars. And guys, actually, this is the 4th Friday that we are meeting already. So time flies. So we did one on Italian wines, then Sparkling Life. Last week we had Bordeaux, and this week Tempranillo. So this is the 4th one, you know, so things are getting pretty busy in here. Yeah, so Mary said she's having fun. Next week, I plan a blind tasting. I'm gonna talk about that a little later, okay? So yes, we have Florida Wine Academy. We have 305 Wines as well. This is a family business, so it is run by me and my husband, and we organize a couple of other events in Miami. One is called Miami Champagne Week. It is every October. We taste a lot of champagnes, you know, wine dinners, events, tastings, and then the other one is a wine conference for more serious professionals and wine lovers, okay? So, yes, so we are a family business. Thank you so much for supporting us. Thank you guys for buying the wines from us as well. This helps us going through this time, okay? And as I mentioned a couple of times, as long as we have this situation, we will be doing webinars twice a week. So that can keep you guys busy, can keep us busy as well. And so we remove our minds out of the craziness that is happening outside, okay? So stay inside, drink some wine, and let's learn together. Okay, so no, let me go back, too soon. Okay, so I wanted to make a question before we start. So one of the things that I put on Instagram asking how many names does Tempranillo have? So I'm curious to hear about what you guys think. So you should have a poll in front of you, and you can vote and tell me how many names do you think Tempranillo have? And it is anonymous, okay? So I'm not judging. I'm not, you know, if you don't know, it is okay. We are all here to learn. But I was, you know, as I was counting today, I said, okay, this is quite surprising. So, all right. I see that most of you guys are voting. Oh, we have a tie. Okay, I need more votes, guys. Okay, yeah, we have a tie in here. So, okay. I'm waiting. Okay, a couple more people are voting last minute. Again, voting is anonymous. I'm not seeing and not judging, okay? So go ahead and vote if you like. So, all right, I'll give you 10 more seconds to vote if you like, and then let's see what people say. Yep, all right, okay. So 23% said 5 names, okay? 40%, the great majority, said 6 names. And 36% said 10 names. So, you know, very close, but you guys say 6 names. Okay, good job. You're all wrong. So, yes, so in here you see, so yes, most people think 6. Roberto is saying more than 10, probably more than 10. but I counted 10. So Tempranillo, also known as Ul de Lebre, Sensivel, Tinto Fino, Tinta de País, Tinta Madrid, Tinta Roriz, and that is in Portugal, okay? Tinta del País, Aragonés, also in Portugal. Tempranilla, that's Argentina. So, you know, it is the same grape, but so many names, okay? And according to the region that you are in Spain, it will have a different name. So Tempranillo is most used in Rioja, and we are going to talk about that. And then Tinta de Toro in a region called Toro, Tinto Fino in Ribera, okay? So depending where you are, you're going to see that, but ultimately, DNA purpose is all the same grape. We know it behaves completely different, but for DNA, it's all the same grape, okay? All right, so plantings of Tempranillo, and this is in hectares. So Spain, of course, it is most planted in Spain. Then we have Portugal with quite a bit, and actually the grape is increasing planting in Portugal. You know, Tempranillo is getting very very popular in there, so plantings are increasing, but still it is only a 10% of what Spain has, okay? Argentina with 6,000 hectares. Did you have any idea that Argentina had so much Tempranillo? So of course, you know, vineyards in Argentina are huge, so this represents just a little bit of it, but shows that Tempranillo is in other areas in the world as well. So south of France has just a tiny bit. California, some. Oregon, I know, Mary, and it is just, you know, probably it is one or two crazy guys that said, okay, what if I plant Tempranillo in here? So yes, there are some people experimenting with Tempranillo in Oregon as well. And in Australia, plantings are growing too. Okay, so yes, it is a grape, you know, from Spain, but nowadays a couple of other countries are experimenting with it as well, okay? Now, is Tempranillo an international variety? And in here, I just wanted to, you know, make you guys think for a bit. So we call international varieties grapes like Cabernet Sauvignon. So even though it is French, it is a French grape, right? You can plant it everywhere, and the grape will grow well, and you know, will produce some very good wines. So do you think Tempranillo has this capacity of being considered an international variety and being planted all over the world? Or do you think it is more local to Spain? What do you guys think? So Salas says, not a noble variety. Okay, Mary says yes. Okay, all over the world, says Deborah. Okay. Any other opinions, guys? More in Spain, says Mario. Okay. Yes, says Dina. Okay. Yes. So, okay. So Sarah is saying that the lines between international and indigenous grapes are quite blurred now. Yes, has the potential, but it has to have the right climate, care, and soils. More like warm climate. Irene says primarily Spain. Okay. Yes, it's good to have, there is no right or wrong answer in here, okay, actually. So the reason that the international grapes like Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot, Malbec, they do well in a multitude of places is that they can be transported, so to say, very easily. Not a lot of grapes, you know, can have that. So if you think about the tannin grapes, and also these grapes like, you know, think about Tuscan grapes, Canaiolo, Mamolo. These grapes cannot be transported because they need to be there. They need to grow in their place, okay? So Tempranillo is showing great success in other places, but, you know, cannot still be considered an international variety, okay? Yes, there is some plantings elsewhere, but not too much. So mainly Spain for now. Let's see what the future will bring us, right? All right, so DNA, and now it is the time to get really geeky about, you know, where is did this grape come from? So it is an offspring of a grape called Albillo Mayor, and it is an old Spanish grape, okay? But in Italy, actually, Malvasia Nera, the DNA profile says that Malvasia Nera and Tempranillo are the same, okay? Now, go tell that to the Italians. You know, I'm not sure how they will react that Malvasia Nera is Tempranillo, but DNA shows that they are exactly the same thing. All right. All right. So Tempranillo. So temprano in Spanish means early. Okay. And so the name, so the Tempranillo got its name because it ripens earlier. So meaning the wines are ready, or not the wines, the grapes are ready to be harvested much earlier than other grapes, like Garnacha, for instance. Garnacha needs more heat, needs more warm weather. So Garnacha needs a couple more weeks than Tempranillo. So that is the reason that the grape has this name. It ripens easier. So, you know, Tempranillo is great for moderate climates, like we will see in a second, okay? All right, aromas of Tempranillo, basically red fruit aromas, okay? So as we taste, we are going to discuss that. There is always something savory about Tempranillo. So think about mushrooms, sometimes leather and tobacco as well. And of course, with Tempranillo, there is a lot of oak hues, especially in Rioja and Ribera. So we are going to see that too, okay? Let me know if you have any questions. Otherwise, I will move on to wine number one. So this is Ostatu in Rioja. And so for those of you who have this wine, that'll be the first one. So for the wine pack, I selected 3 wines and I put the Ostatu Rosado as an optional wine, okay? So yes, but I will serve and describe to you. So any rosé fans in here? Okay, rosé all day. Yes, Marcos, I agree with you. Yes. So yes, Ronda. Yes, Ronda represents Bodvar Rosé. So we still need to taste this wine together, right, Ronda? But yes, rosé all day. Yes, Nicole Ramos just did a webinar on rosé last Wednesday, and I heard it went really, really well. Okay. The reason I chose this wine, it is because it is from a very, very good producer in Rioja. So actually, I always consider Ostatu, maybe I'm pronouncing it wrong. Spanish in the room, can you please correct me? So maybe it's Ostatu, I don't know. So, so I always see this producer as a very modern one, and kind of, you know, thinking very modern to produce their wines. In fact, they have been existing for the past 250 years. Gracias, Jose. Okay, perfect pronunciation. Okay, Jose was my student for Spanish. So sometimes when I speak Spanish, Portuguese comes. So it is kind of, you know, Spanish and Portuguese together. It's Portuñol. Yes, Kida, exactly. Hola, Jesus. Oh, thank you. Okay, so Jesus, we had a problem. So not we, Zoom had a problem. And good to have you guys in here. We are opening the first wine, so the Ostatu Rosado. Welcome, okay. All right, so Ostatu Rosado, okay. So these guys are based in the Rioja Alavesa. And I'm gonna show you later on the map where it is, but it's a prime region for Tempranillo, okay? Organic farming, you see there is, you know, most of it is Tempranillo, a little bit of Garnacha, and just a little bit of Viura. Do you know what Viura is? Is this a red wine, red grape, white grape? Yeah, very good, guys. So Viuda is a white grape, okay? So probably they put a little bit here in the blend to bring, you know, more floral notes and a little bit more acidity. In this case, fermented in stainless steel tanks, no aging, so super fresh and young wines, okay? If you have the wine, go ahead and taste it. So you see beautiful color. It's so fruity on the nose. It's like raspberries, cherries, all fresh fruit. It is really, yeah, very fresh fruit. All right, guys, go ahead and taste the first wine if you have it. I'm still spitting, okay, in professional tastings, and when I'm teaching, I do spit the wine. And the only reason I'm spitting today is that I have to get to the last wine. All right, so, okay, let me know what you guys think. I think it is, what I love about rosé wines is first, they are very food friendly. So you can pair with a lot of different things. And for our climate here in Miami, when you want something more than a white wine, but not quite a red, this is the halfway between, you know, whites and reds. Yeah, so Dina is saying that each sip gets better and better. Yes, it will get better and better. So, so yes, but it's super refreshing on the palate. You know, it makes you salivate. So it is really delicious, and it has quite a long finish. A lot of fruit, a little bit of like green herbs as well. So what else do you guys think? Yes, and also I want you guys to know that if you're not opening all the 4 wines today, that's okay. You can open the wines during the weekend and rewatch the video. These wines, you know, if you plan to open this, they will last the weekend and a couple of more days, so it is not a problem, okay? So Jesus is asking what means Rioja Alavesa. This is an area in Rioja. I'm gonna show you later on the map, okay? So it is a very special area in Rioja. I can go back to that. Yes, so crisp green apple, yes. So it is really good. It is really good. So Susan is asking how much does this retail for? I don't know, $16, $18. But yeah, it is really fresh, young, and fruity. A lot of the very balanced wine. Yeah, very good. The wine is very good. It is delicious. So if you don't want to drink a red outside by the pool or at the beach, whenever we can go back to the beach, this is a perfect wine for it. It has a little bit more body and structure than a Provence rosé, but not as much as a Tavel, for those of you who tasted both. So yeah, it is very balanced, super delicious wine. So very good, okay? All right, can we move on? So Celeste is asking if it is Sagné or direct. By the color, I cannot say anything. It doesn't say anything in technical sheet as well, but there is a way of making rosé wines in Spain. Let me see if I can unmute Nicole so she can explain it to us. Hold on a second. Sorry, guys. Let me see if I can see her. Just a second, guys. Nicole, I have allowed you to talk now. You have the power to talk to us.
Oh boy. So much power, so little time. Okay, I was just about to type. So with this color, it really looks like the most likely form of production is the direct press. there are some regions of Spain that traditionally use the Sagrado or that Saignée bleeding method, which tends to give you a little bit more color and structure and sometimes concentration as well, usually concentration of aromas and flavors. I wish I had the wine to smell it and to taste it, but just from the color alone, it does look more like a direct press. So more likely in the Provence traditional style of production than that French Saignée. And the other that is more typical for northern Spain is something called a clarete, where they are co-fermenting the whites and the reds together, but that also gives a little bit of a deeper color. So I'm going to place my money on direct press. Final answer.
Great. Okay. So I have muted her again. So in here, I'm typing to you. So sangrado method, okay. It is one type. Then the other one is clarete. And we are talking here about direct press. So basically, you harvest the wines, you put them in a press, you press them, and you have the wine, okay? All right, so let's move on. And in this case, Tempranillo is always blended with something. It is very rare to find a Tempranillo that is, 100% Tempranillo. So first of all, if it is blended with garnacha, it'll give red fruits, spices, full body, and alcohol, okay? It can be blended with viuda as well, like we saw in this case in here. And for viuda, it'll give, a little bit of floral notes and more acidity. Masuelo Carignan is also a rustic tannic grape, so that happens, that can, add. And Graciano gives perfume and acidity. Graciano is actually planted in Rioja, but it's kind of a hard grape to grow. First, very low yields, then very high in acids. Then it is susceptible to a lot of diseases. So a lot of people and a lot of winemakers say Graciano is actually Gracias no, because the grape is so hard to grow that they say no, Gracias no, Graciano no. So yes, but it adds this acidity, okay? Monastrell, high in tannins, animal aromas and flavors. And then in a couple of other regions, it can be blended with Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot, and in Portugal, for instance, is going to be blended with Touriga Franca and Trincadeira, okay? Sounds good? Any questions so far? Any comments, any questions? So Jesus, the price for Ostatu Rosado, I think it is $16, $18. I couldn't remember. Okay. All right. All good. So let's go south. Okay. So do you recognize this wine region in here? Yes. Everybody saying Mendoza? Yes, exactly. Looks like Chile. Could it be Chile? The Chile is to the other side of the mountains, okay? So in this case, we are looking from the Argentina side of the mountains. Yeah, so this is Mendoza. It is Valle de Uco, okay? So Uco Valley, very high elevation. You are in the foothills of the Andes Mountains. So that will give you first altitude, that will give you a lot of cool airs and cool breezes coming from the Andes, will give you plenty of water to irrigate your vines, okay? And as you see, there is not one cloud in the sky. So it is a very, very dry region. So Mendoza is really like, almost like a desert, and so irrigation is needed. We all know Argentina for the Malbec or for the red blends, but they do have a little bit of Tempranillo as well, okay? So this Tempranillo, it is coming from the Uco Valley, and Uco Valley as a region within Mendoza, it is nowadays considered to be the best region for Malbec. exactly because, you know, you have this high elevation that will keep the acidity and freshness of the wine and not having that jammy style, high alcohol style of wine. Okay, so with that, we have the Altocedro Año Cero Tempranillo. So pour that into your glass if you haven't. The bottle in here looks a little bit blurred. I can show you my bottle. So yes, Año Cero from Altocedro in the Uco Valley. This is 100% Tempranillo. So remember, I just said that Tempranillo is blended with a lot of grapes, but in Argentina, they have decided to do it 100%, okay? So let me pour in my glass so we can taste together. Do you all have in here? Yes, so we are all drinking the same wine. It is 2015, okay? So this wine has now 5 years of age. Yeah, okay, and we'll discuss together. So the average altitude for this for those vineyards are in 1,000 meters or 3,300 feet, which is quite high. Fermentation goes in concrete vats, and then this wine is aged in American oak for 8 to 10 months, okay? So let's see how this Tempranillo is. So in your heads, you have to kind of be reminded how Tempranillo from Spain tastes. We are going to do this next, okay? But so for us to compare. So the color, it's not very dark, right? So the way to look at color for a red wine is that you have to put the wine into 45 degrees against a white piece of paper or a white table. And then you look from the top, and in this case, this wine for me is more like ruby color, maybe medium intensity. It is not super intense, okay? So it is not something like Ribera del Duero that is going to be very intense. So, all right, on the nose, what do you guys can smell? And for the Spanish people in the room, I really want your opinion in this wine, okay? It can be a sincere opinion. We are all here. I don't represent any of these companies, and we are all neutral, okay? So we can share our opinion about the wine. Okay, so Antonio says he would never have guessed Tempranillo in a blind tasting. It is outstanding, okay? So what do you smell? Because, you know, for me, the wine, it is kind of more gamey and meaty. And when I say gamey and meaty, I'm thinking about something more like leather or something more like animal. Okay, so Anna says cereza, okay? Cherries? No, cherries is ciruela, right? So cereza is plum. Am I right or am I wrong? No. Oh my gosh. Okay. I need to teach back in Spanish so I don't forget my Spanish. Thank you. Ciruela is plum. Okay. So no, it's not ciruela. It's really cherries in here. Cheers, guys. Thank you. All right. Yeah, that is the benefit of having all of these people in here. You know, it is also a free Spanish class. So we got to taste the wines, to talk about the wines, but also you learn Spanish as we go. Yes, tobacco, tons of tobacco. Yes. So Celeste is asking if it is Syrah-like. So I think it is more Mourvèdre-like, but maybe it is just because of the vintage, and this wine has a little bit of age to it. It might be that, okay? Yes, there is a whiff of vanilla. I agree, Deborah. So look back at the slide, and when I see it was aged in American oak barrels, what are the flavors that American oak gives to the wine? Yes, coconut, dill, vanilla, yes. Burnt sugar, absolutely. For me, it is like creme brulee or, you know, crema catalana. So you have that sensation, and that differentiates French oak from American oak. So French oak, you have more kind of spices and more, you know, peppery notes, like French vanilla. And in the American oak, you have more like this burnt sugar, caramel type of aromas. Yes. Okay. What else, guys? Did you taste the wines? So Dina is saying that reminds her of Ginja, the cherry brand from Lisbon. Okay. That is, yeah. Okay. I can see that. Yeah. All right. Okay. Very savory on the palate, right? And when I say savory, it's, you know, I'm thinking about dried green herbs, think about sage or spices as well. I don't have much fruit on the palate. I have a lot more savory notes. How about you guys? Dirt and mushroom. Yeah, you do have this kind of savory notes like leather, tobacco, clove, yes, mushroom, earth. So yeah, it's very, very savory on the palate. Yeah. Okay, so did you guys like the wine? Okay. Very strong for Natalia. Okay, I can see that. Irene loved it. Okay, good. Yes. Which is the best food pairing for this wine? Okay, so let's ask the crowd. What is the best food pairing? So for me, you know, usually when we are drinking Spanish wines or wines made with Spanish grapes, think about having some Spanish food with it as well. So obviously steak, it will be great with this wine, but even, you know, some charcuterie, yes, jamón ibérico. Jamón all the time, Jose. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Jamón is always welcome. So yes, roasted potato with fresh rosemary, olive oil, salt. Yes, chorizo, tortilla. Very good. Cheese empanadas. Yes, all of that. Good job, guys. Yes, I agree. Okay. So I really like the wine as well. I think the wine is, you know, if I were to buy some more bottles of this wine, I would say drink now. I don't think this wine can age more because as we saw, it has fruits on the nose, but on the palate, the wine is savory. So that means the wine is losing the fruit profile, so it is going down, okay? So yes, drink now. I don't think this wine can age too much. You know, maybe 5 years of age was enough. And so that is why for some people, the wine was too strong. Other people loved it because it is more savory and you know, make the wine a little bit more complex, but it's definitely not a fruity wine. Not a fruity, not an easy style. Okay. So Irene said she's having pork roast with fresh roasted potato Greek style. Sounds delicious. Can I go to South Beach later for some, you know, leftovers? Daria, how much it is? I am not sure. Maybe in the $16, $18 range. So yes, it is not a pricey wine, absolutely. But you know, drink now. Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Nicole. $19.99. But yeah, okay, sounds good. All right, so let's move on a little bit And before we go in here, I wanted to ask you something. So let me get to see if I can. Oh, no, I want to be in here. All right. So let me launch this, and I'm gonna ask which region is this one that you're seeing. So, and if you have been to this region, or if you recognize this city. So I'm gonna wait a few minutes for you guys to vote. Okay, Dina has been to the region. Okay. All right. So quick question for the Spanish people in the room. Where are you guys from? Which city or which region in Spain? Galicia, okay. Madrid y Valladolid, sounds good. They are doing great wines in Madrid right now. So we like buying weird wines or wines that are not too common, Anna. And so we are looking for wines of Madrid right now, and hopefully we'll have a couple of good ones soon. So yeah, I'll let you know. So Albacete, La Mancha, okay, yes. So Jose was telling me that La Mancha is very well known for having volume wine, but nowadays they are doing some good wines as well. We need to, do another one with different areas from Spain. Eduardo Perez is from Sevilla. Okay, so I have Esteves in my name because my grandfather was from Spain. He was from Motril, which is a city near Malaga and in Andalusia. So yes, that is why I have, half of my family came from Spain as well. All right. Okay, so let me end the poll so you guys can see. So 66% said Rioja. Yay, you guys are right. And 26 said Ribera. So geography in Ribera is a little bit different, okay? And 9% said Miami. Seriously, guys, where are the mountains in Miami Beach? The only thing that you guys can see right now in Miami Beach is the sea and 5 or 6 cruise ships, okay? So these in the back are not cruise ships, I guarantee with you, okay? So, too bad this is anonymous because I would love to see who replied Miami Beach. Sarah, maybe? Okay. All right, so yes, this is Rioja and this is Jaro in Rioja, okay? So very different than, Ribera del Duero, as we are going to see a little later, okay? So in here, you have a map of La Rioja, which is the region to produce wines. So as I was talking a little earlier about Rioja Alta, or we were talking about Alavesa, now I want to show you this to you guys. So Rioja is northeast side of Spain, for instance. There is, so Castilla and León is just in the border in here, and the País Vasco and Navarra are just in the north border of Rioja. It is a region that you have a lot of mountains surrounding the region. So you see Sierra de Cantabria is the most famous one. Sierra de la Demanda, also very famous. So, sorry guys, let me go back. So yes, so it is a region that you see, it is surrounded by mountains, okay? And in the region here, you don't have much altitude. You get the altitude from the mountains in here. So Rioja has this name because of a tiny river in here, which the name of the river is Oja. So Rio is river, Oja is the name of the river. So this was a region because, so the name of the region came because of this river Oja, okay? So this is a region of Rioja. So south, if you go south, you go to Catalonia. If you go north, you know, eventually you're going to see in País Vasco, and then you're going to be in the Atlantic Ocean, okay? We divide Rioja into 3 areas. And first I have to tell that this map was by Quentin Sadler from Wine Scholar Guild. They are doing a fantastic job. You know, first of all, there is a new qualification called Spanish Wine Scholar. Nicole Ramos in here, she's teaching that for us. And so he draw a lot of these maps, and the maps are just fantastic. Okay, so yes, I'm using their maps today because there is no one that does this better. So Rioja is divided into 3 regions: Rioja Alta, Rioja Alavesa, and Rioja Oriental. Previous name for Rioja Oriental was Rioja Baja. But the thing is that they thought that the name Baja means something bad, like, you know, it is not as good as the Rioja Alta, so one is higher than the other one. So they changed the name to Rioja Oriental, and that, you know, was changed, I don't know, 2 years ago, I guess. So ladies, help me here if you have the numbers. But yeah, 2 years ago or so, it was changed to Rioja Oriental, which is kind of weird, right? Because, you know, Rioja Oriental for me seems like we are talking about a Rioja in Japan or China. So, so yes, we have 3 areas. Rioja Oriental is the warmest, okay? So most of the garnacha is planted in here because it is the warmest. It is, you know, it has Mediterranean influences in here. So Rioja Oriental is the flattest, the warmest, and also, you know, where you have the most quantity of garnacha. Remember that garnacha needs warm to ripen, okay? Yes. All right, so Jose says it's marketing. Celeste says it faces towards the Oriental. Okay, that is a great explanation, yes. But I was fine with Rioja Baja. I never thought this was, you know, lower in quality. Yeah. Yeah, so Rain is asking which area has the best wineries. So I'm getting there. 2 very important cities in the area. So Logroño in here, where I'm pointing on the map, and then Haro is in here, where we are going to see, you know, a famous one in a second, okay? Rioja Alta is where you have very good Tempranillos. So it is getting cooler, okay? It is not as warm as Rioja Oriental, and therefore Tempranillo does better in here, okay? And Rioja Alavesa, which is partially in the País Vasco, is where you have very fine examples of Tempranillo coming from this region. So normally when you have the Gran Reserva wines, the grapes are coming from Rioja Alavesa, okay? A lot of limestone soils or calcareous soils coming from in this area. So it is really, really a special place, and it has a little bit of altitude as well. So yeah, so 3 Riojas, okay? Rioja Oriental, warm, garnacha. Rioja Alta, cooler, and Tempranillo. Rioja Alavesa, really special Tempranillo for the Gran Reserva wines. Yes, sounds good? Any questions so far? Any comments? Have you been there? Are you still there? Okay, yes, all right. Going someday soon? Yes, we are all hoping to go someday soon elsewhere, right? Other than our house. I was kidding in one of our webinars that, you know, we have to go from Los Sofas to Las Kitchens. That is the only thing we have to do. Okay, so Erwin, yes, yet El Ciego, Aro, Logroño, okay, very cool. Yes, visit Marqués de Riscal, beautiful, amazing. Yes, beautiful region, Sarah, I agree with you. Excellent wines, price quality is fantastic. So Dina is saying 2017, it was still called Rioja Baja. So this name is a surprise. Yep, it is. La Guardia. Okay, Claudia. Yes. Yep. Okay. Yeah, and Daria is saying she never been to Rioja, but she loves the wine we are going to taste next. Okay, and the tapas bar in Haro. Yes, that is the greatest thing about being in Spain. First of all, food is delicious, wine is delicious, and the prices are so good. So yes, you can drink and eat all night long in here, and have fun. So yes. Great country, sending all the love to the Spanish people right now. We recommend the Vinoterapia in Marqués de Riscal. That is something I have never done. Okay, next time I will do Jesus. And Campo Viejo was very impressive. Yes, I bet. So a lot of things to do, very historical wineries in here too. So a great region that is prepared to welcome tourists. So yeah, just fantastic. All right, so Bodegas Muga Rioja Reserva 2015, okay? So if you don't have that in your glass, put a glass, okay? So, all right. So, yes, this is the wine we are tasting. So it's the Bodegas Muga, which is an historical producer in Rioja Alta. And their wines are excellent, are always very good in quality. It is one of those reliable producers that every year they are going to produce some very fine wines. Blended here, 70% Tempranillo, 20% Garnacha, and then 10% of Graciano and Masuelo. They don't tell me how much of each grape. Aging 24 months in French and American oak barrels, okay? So they use both. All right, so salud. Cheers, guys. Okay. Okay, I'm happy. Just by smelling the wine, I'm happy. So I want to hear a little bit of your opinion. What can you smell now? And if you're drinking something else, let me know what you're drinking so we can compare and contrast. So Mary's having the Veronia Gran Reserva. Fantastic. 2010. Yes, it is so good, so delicious. Okay, Robert as well, and Jacqueline. Good for you guys. Yes, okay, jammy, red fruits. Yeah, okay. Very different nose than the previous one, right? Than the Tempranillo from Argentina. So, yeah. I do get a lot of spices. Yes, Anna, exactly. So wood, and then the spices like cloves, cinnamon, right? So canela, clavo. So Fernando is drinking Continuo Reserva 2012. Good for you. That is an amazing producer as well. Fidel is drinking Vinha Tondonia Reserva. Guys, you're doing well in here. Okay, good. So Celeste is saying one of the best in Rioja, in the heart of Haro. They have a full portfolio of wines and have been producing wines in the same facility for over 100 years. I know Celeste has been in Rioja, was last year, Celeste, or 2 years ago? So yeah, did you visit Muga? You did, right? Yes, it is, some very, very good wines. Yeah. So Duero, okay, great one too. Yes, Jesus has the Prado Enea Gran Reserva, okay. Yes, so she has a full tasting of their wines. So Celeste, do you want to tell us a little bit about this? I can unmute you, and meanwhile we can all taste the wine. What do you say? All right, let me see how I did that. Oh my gosh, the wine is so good. Have you tasted, guys? Let me go back, sorry. Let me see how I do this again, Celeste. All right, Celeste, tell us a little bit.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. No, I have been to Rioja, and I have to say that probably my favorite winery, or my bodega as they are called there, was Muga. They were incredibly gracious, and I was so impressed with the quality of the wines there and the quality of the production. It's still a very family owned and operated bodega. It hasn't been bought out by corporate, so they're very proud. And I tasted their entire portfolio, and I do believe that Muga is probably some of the best Rioja wine on the market, and at a great buy. So I can't endorse it enough after my experiences there.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for sharing. Yes, this is very high quality. And if I know they are very historical producers, and they use French oak and American oak. So, you know, they are handling it like historically everybody did. But the wine for me, it does seem that it's very modern. So when you go into the winery, you know, did you see a lot of technology?
Yes. So they are traditionalists in that some of their wines are only seeing American oak, which is, as you know, traditionally what happens in Rioja. However, they are experimenting and adding French oak. So with some of the Reserva, you're going to see a little bit of French oak involved in the aging process. Okay. There are also other wines that are 100% French oak. So they recognize that the consumer is evolving and changing, and they want to accommodate that. So that's what I loved about Muga. They were very forward thinking. They want to produce the traditional wines, which they do, but they also want to answer the consumer's request for something a little bit more exploratory, which is when you start to see the French oak added. So they're very flexible, and so that's why they have an incredible portfolio. If you want a traditional Rioja with 100% oak, American oak, you can get that, but you can also find their wines with 100% French oak. So they have an incredible range, and quite price friendly.
Very nice. Thank you. Yeah. So what did you guys think about the wine? Because I think it is so delicious and really well made and very good wine. And for the price, so Nicole is telling me that is $29.99. Yes, perfection. I agree with you, Natalia. The wine is so delicious. Yeah. Okay. The wine is spectacular. I agree. Jose? Yes, this expertise over such a long period of time is evident. They put love into their wine. Absolutely. Delicious for sure. Jaime? Yes. Cheers, guy. Very good price quality. That is the thing about Spanish wines, right? You have a very high quality wine that you pay $29. And if you were to compare a high quality wine coming from Napa and coming from Bordeaux, you know, the price would be so much higher. I am a Bordeaux educator. I'm a totally Bordeaux person, but I have to agree that, you know, the price quality in Spanish wine is so great. And this wine is ready to drink now. You can age a few more years, so everything is great. So Sarah is saying it is an amazing value. You have to pay a lot more to get this quality from other regions. I agree, Sarah. I think you're totally right. So yes, very good. Yes, any other things? Yeah. Exactly, Deborah. So compared to the previous one, it is a spicy and jammy versus gamey. So the other one is gamey. If you still have the other wine in your glass, go back and taste it. And then maybe you will understand when I say that this wine is going down. And so, you know, you see the Muga, it is in its prime life. It has fruit, it has flavors, you can age this wine. It'll hold together, it still have tannins, there's alcohol, everything is in balance. And the other one is, it's going down because you only have savory notes on the palate, okay? So Jesus, the temperature to serve it, room temperature, not in Miami though, room temperature in Europe. So think about, you know, 10, 15 degrees. So normally what I do is that I have a cellar at home, so I remove from that and then we can drink. How long can we keep this 2015? Easily 10 more years, easily. This wine has enough power and tannins and structure to handle another 10 years at least. Yes, very, very good producer. Okay. Yes. So they do have a couple of other ones. So the Reserva Especial, which is another one. But yeah, and 2015 was a good vintage as well in Rioja. So we are seeing that. Yes. Eduardo says that the wine is round, is smooth. It is. It is perfect. It is like a silky. So when people talk about silky, velvety tannins, that is what they mean, right? The wine is perfect. It is so smooth and so round. So Jose is saying that he drank a Muga from 1981 and was really good. Yeah, invite the friends, Jose, for this. When you open a 1981 Muga, you can invite other people, right? But yeah, it's super good. Okay. Okay, guys. Yeah, delicious. Any other comments and questions? Yeah, and you know, if we go back to the map, so Muga is in Rioja Alta. Okay, so it's very close in here. So yes, these are, you know, prime vineyards, very best vineyards. They say they are sustainable. They are not certified organic. A couple of wines, they do have certification. They had a Reserva that was unfiltered as well. Not this one. Yeah, this one, 14.5% alcohol. And I would never guess, because I think it is so balanced. You don't guess that it is, yeah, too much. So Arvin saying smooth and well-rounded. I agree. Okay. And in the back, you can see this sticker in here. So that is from the Rioja region. So every time you have this red sticker, that means the wine is Reserva. And Reserva means that this wine was aged for at least a year in oak, plus tank and bottle and everything combined together, 3 years. Is that correct, Nicole? For 3 years in total for a Reserva? Yes, 3 years minimum, okay? So in this case, Muga has aged in oak, double the time that the DO mandates, okay? So they age for 24 months in French and American oak, yeah. Okay, any other comments? Are you happy? Okay. All right, so let's go a little further. And where am I? And this is an actual picture that I sent a text message to one person. I'm gonna talk about him in a second. And I said, can you send me a picture now? And he did. Yep, okay. Ribera del Duero, that's what it is, guys. So Sarah says Aiden is happy. Okay, good. Okay. Yes. All right. So yes, this is Ribera del Duero. Duero is a river. It is quite a long river that flows, you know, from Spain into Portugal, and then the name in Portugal becomes Duero. Douro. I cannot speak Portuguese anymore, you see, guys. So Duero in Spain, Douro in Portugal, and then flows into the Atlantic, okay? In here, we have some elevation. So not very dramatic mountains, but there is elevation in every vineyard, okay? What I wanted to see you, and yes, Marcos, the white rocks. So that is the type of soil that you have. You see the very white soil? This is limestone. It is calcareous soil, okay? So think about limestone. So a great part, or you know, most of the Europe was underwater millions of years ago, okay? And that is why you have a lot of, you know, shells when you visit the French region of Burgundy. So, and these are the limestone soils. But it is funny because, so Emilio Moro sent me this picture, and when you see the vineyard right next to it, doesn't have the white color. So what's the difference? So the white color is limestone, which is, you know, a very good soil. And the darker one, this is more clay soil. So if you have this vineyard and you are a wine producer, suddenly the grape will behave differently because you have different soils, okay? And also another thing that I wanted to point out, yes, Hannah, thank you, is the bush vines. So look here in the bottom of the picture. So you see these grapes in here, they are being trained in wires, right? Espaldera, so they are guillot training, they are being trained in wires, okay? And these other grapes right next to them, these are bush vines, okay? So meaning they are like tiny trees, which you cannot mechanize. You have to harvest them by hand. It is a lot of work for you to do. And you know, when I asked him and I said, okay, why do you have in the same vineyard trellis system and then bush vines? It is because these bush vines are very old vines. So nobody wants to, you know, get rid of them because of course it is very low yields, very small production, but very concentrated wines. So in the same vineyards, he has different type of soils, different type of training system. So even though everything it is Tempranillo or Tinto Fino in here, the wines will have very different character, okay? So before you taste Emilio Moro, I want to tell you a story. So we are very fortunate here in Miami because a lot of these people live in Miami as they wanted to, you know, present their products to the American market. So we were talking about Marqués de Riscal earlier. So the grandson of Marqués de Riscal, he lives in Miami. He was our student at the Florida Wine Academy. And then Alberto Moro, also he lives in Miami and he represents this wine. So he was a student and he has been at the Florida Wine Academy multiple times, also doing an event. So yes, so Erin says they were there in December with Alberto Moro eating lechão and drinking Valle de Ramiro, which is an excellent wine. Life's hard, right, Erin? Life's hard. And great, you know, good for you and Claudia. Yeah, so I want to show you something. So I text Alberto today and I said, Alberto, he's in Spain, by the way, right now, doing the quarantine. So he's in Spain. And I said, okay, please send me a picture of your vineyard because I wanted to show people. And I said, okay, you have to send me a video, okay? So he did send me a video. And let me show you this. Let me find Alberto. And I wanted to show, so, you know, this guy lives in downtown Miami, very close to the academy. He's a friend, he's a student, he's such a great guy. And he's representing the wines from his family. So he's going to talk about why the name La Felisa, okay? So let's hear Alberto.
Hello, this is Alberto Medina Moro with Bodegas Emilio Moro. Wanted to send a video to say hello to my friends from Miami. I miss you guys a lot. I'm back in Spain. I'm going through the quarantine as you probably are as well. And I wanted to send you a video to tell you a little bit about the wine you guys are tasting tonight with Alessandra. So the wine is named Felisa, which is named actually after Emilio Moro's wife, which here you can see both of them in a cute picture that they took in their honeymoon. Both Emilio and Felisa were the second generation of the family, and we wanted to pay homage to Felisa, who has been a part of the project as well as my grandfather. And the best way we could actually think about was through making a wine very special, very limited production, and naming it after my grandmother. So, well, I'm gonna let you continue with the explanations that Alessandra is giving you, and I hope you guys enjoy the tasting and stay safe. Cheers.
Isn't he great? Yep, he's a great guy. Yep, thank you guys. So after he sent me the video, I said, okay, what about La Felisa? Is she still alive? And he said, yes, she's still alive. I can send you a picture of her. And then he sent me this picture here. Let me show it to you guys because this is a funny picture. So this is Felisa with 84 years old drinking La Felisa 2017, okay? So that I thought it was just funny. And I asked, okay, how are your grandparents? Are they good? So yes, everything is, it's very good. So yeah, super cute, 84 years old, drinking La Felisa. So now it is our time to drink La Felisa. So, all right, guys, let me go back to the presentation in here. So pour some La Felisa, please, in your glass. Let me see. Okay, okay, we can go back in here. So pour some Emilio Moro La Felisa, super heavy bottle, right? So this is 2017, difficult vintage in here, okay? Gracias, Jesus. So yes, so pour a little bit of La Felisa. And for this one, I'm using a special glass, okay? Because I always keep my special glass for later. This is a Zalto glass. It's a very thin type of wine glass. I was drinking the Muga in a normal Bordeaux glass, which is round and big. So you see the difference. This one is thinner. The crystal is a little thinner. It is one of my favorite glasses because glass do have an impact on the tasting. All right, so 100% Tempranillo, okay? In this case, it is called Tinta Fino, organic wine in Ribera del Duero, and where he is in Pesquera del Duero. I'm gonna show you that to you guys in a second. And he ages for 12 months in French oak barrels, okay, 500 liters. So have you guys been to Ribera? Okay, yes, some people. So Eduardo is saying that he was with Ana and Alberto in Emilio Moro this past year. Sancho Martin, yes, it's amazing wine. It's a la altura de Vega Sicilia, so yes, it's just as good as Vega Sicilia. I agree, but the thing is, Vega Sicilia costs $500, and Sancho Martin maybe around $160 or so. So Daria has been, okay, fantastic place, yes. Mentally, Pesquera Duero, yeah, I'm gonna show you on the map. I was supposed to be there now, Jacqueline, seriously? Were you supposed to be on in Spain now? Yeah, All right, sorry guys. So the story about Ribera del Duero, and let me go back to the map to show you guys. So this is the region of Ribera del Duero, okay? So Ribera del Duero, we always say that Rioja is very traditional, Ribera is more modern. Well, but in Ribera del Duero, you know, the first serious guy who planted and transformed the region was the Eloy Locanda Chavez, and he planted the first vines from Bordeaux in 1864, okay? So that was a long time ago, but he planted vines, so Cabernet Sauvignon and Merlot. And with that, he began blending. And we all know about Vega Sicilia and how, you know, they created this style of very powerful wine, age-worthy, high-quality wine, having international grapes blended to it, okay? And then in the 80s, we had Alejandro Fernandez from Pesquera, the wine Pesquera, also doing, you know, or putting the region into the map, doing some very high quality wines. So nowadays, everything that comes from Ribera, for me, it appears to be of high quality. So in here, let me move this in here. So yes, you see the river going in the middle of the region in here, okay? And then you have a couple of very important cities in here, like, you know, Peñafiel, Valbuena, Aranda de Duero. So yes, and then you have a lot of very good wineries in here as well. So it is not a flat land. Everything in here is in altitude. The climate in the Duero is very dramatic. So very cold winters and very hot summers, okay? We call this climate continental climate because you have these differences. So in the wintertime, you see snow in Ribera del Duero. And then when it's summertime, you reach 40 degrees Celsius easily. So it is very contrasting climate. And with that, the grape is different as well. So the Tempranillo that, you know, we have seen in Rioja or Argentina, more like red fruits or more like medium color. In the Duero, this Tempranillo will be black fruit. You know, lots of tannins, much more color. So it is going to be a different style of wine, okay? And that is because of this climate. So, all right. I have a ton of questions in here, so let me see how can I start. Rusty, aging this wine, good question. So 2017 was a very difficult vintage in the Duero. And the reason for that is that they had a major spring frost. So every producer lost 40 to 50% of their vines. And that was the case with Emilio Moro too. They lost a lot of vines in here. So they could only produce a little less wine. And then in the same vintage that you had the frost, it was a dry vintage with hot climate. So they had to harvest earlier as well. Okay, so it was not a perfect vintage. And that means only very good producers could produce some very good wines, okay? Because otherwise, it was a difficult vintage for everyone. To age a wine, you need a couple of things. So first, you need high tannins, and then you need the acidity, the freshness. I think this wine has it, okay? And I think actually that this wine is quite young for us to drink. I think it will change a little bit. So first of all, let's discuss aromas. What can you guys feel? More red fruits like we've seen before in the Muga, or is this more black fruits? Think about black cherries, black plums, blackberries. So what do you guys think? Cassis, yes, I agree, Juana. Okay. Olive, yes, very good, okay. True, it's like olive tapenade, right? It's like, yeah, all right, good call, Rodrigo. Yes, black fruits, black cherries, blackberries. Okay, what about the French oak? Can you smell any vanilla or pepper or any spices like cinnamon, cloves, anything? Yes. So Nicole is saying that the spices, a bit more savory. I agree. So again, you have, you know, a little bit pepper. Think about black pepper on the palate. A little bit more leather or earth. Yes, licorice. I agree, Rhonda. Yes, cedar. That is a good call. It is cedar. So you have kind of this green freshness, like cedar or eucalyptus. So there is a little bit of that. I agree. Yeah, even on the nose, you can have a little bit of this freshness. Okay. And what about if you put the wine on the palate? Do you think this wine is, you know, powerful? What do you think? Yeah, so you see the tannins in here, in your cheeks, right? It is this drying sensation. So these are the tannins. I think the wine is young. And, you know, one of the things that I like doing is tasting the wine the next day. Some of the wines, not every wine can be tasted the next day. So guys, for those of you who were with me for the Italian wine tasting, did you taste the Barolo the next day? Was it better? Because I think this is one of the wines that either you need aging or you need to decant this wine or wait for the next day. So I think, you know, if you have all the wines open, drink the Muga tonight, keep La Felisa for tomorrow, and let me know. Yes, so Mary is saying that, yes, she kept the wine. Antonio says, yes, developed super well. It was great even after 3 days. So Brian is asking how long before we drink. It should be decanted. So for decanting, you know, depending on the wine, if it is a young wine, you can decant that much earlier. If it is an old wine, decant and serve, okay? Yeah, Irene, Easter Sunday wine, I agree. Keep this for this Easter, okay? So Eduardo is telling a funny story. So he was in a tasting and a sommelier from Japan had all the wines, okay? Oh, okay. Oh, very funny, yes. So yes, it is a delicious wine made in a very difficult vintage, but it shows you the power of Duero, which is different than Rioja. I'm not saying that the wines from Rioja are not powerful, they are just different, right? So the grape in here, it's a little bit different. So if you still have your Muga in your glass, go back and retaste the Muga. Yeah, so Nicole is saying that Ribera has a more extreme climate and it tends to show in this wine. I agree. So vintage variation is it's greater in Ribera. Rodrigo is saying Muga is better. I agree. I think Muga is delicious. It's ready to be drunk. It is soft and round and smooth. It is just perfect. La Felisa needs to be aged, or, you know, keep this wine for Sunday and let me know. Because I think tomorrow the La Felisa will be much better than what it is today, okay? Also more ABV in Ribera due to climate, I agree. Now, in this bottle in here, Celeste, it says alcohol 13.5%. I think it is not accurate because normally these wines have around 15% of alcohol, okay? So, yeah, I'm not sure why it is saying that. Rain, I missed a question from you asking about if it is organic. Does it have no sulfites? So theoretically, all the wines do have sulfites because fermentation does produce sulfites. With organic, they have a little less. Nicole Ramos, one of our teachers in here on the chat, she's going to do a natural wines webinar next Wednesday. So you can watch it. She's going to talk about organic, biodynamic, sustainable, natural wines, vegan, and then she'll solve you all your questions, okay? Okay, any comments about La Felisa? So, all right, so Marcos is asking which one I think it is sweeter, this one or Muga. So technically, all of these wines are dry, completely dry, okay? So one thing is to have sugar in the wine, and the other thing is to have fruitiness, okay? So Marcos, think about the Bordeaux, the Sauterne we tasted last week. That was sweet, right? That has sugar. In this case, it has fruitiness. So I think by smelling the Felisa, for me, it's like blackberry jam. So I see a lot of jammy fruits on the nose, and that might you think that the wine is sweet. They are all dry. It is just that this is very, very fruity, okay? All right, so Dina says she's going to have it with oxtail on Easter. La Felisa will hold up. Send me an email later, Dina, and let me know. Okay, very good. Very good wine, says Rain, probably our favorite of the tasting. Okay, yes. So yes, we are all different. And so, you know, that is why I like to always taste a range or taste some very different wines. Some people said that the Altocedro, the one from Argentina, was delicious. Some people didn't like that much. So yes, it is different styles of wine. It is the same grape, but coming from different regions. So that is what I wanted to talk to you and show you in here. Any other questions, guys? I'm very sorry that, you know, a couple of you couldn't join at the beginning. We did wait for about 20 minutes, so that is why we're finishing a little later today. Thank you so much for joining me. Yeah, delicious wines. So people are asking about next week. Yes, so next Friday, it is going to be blind tasting. I cannot tell you what the wines are. I cannot tell you where they're coming from. And in fact, I was at Florida Wine Academy yesterday to wrap up the bottles, okay? So if you choose, you can join us. It is already on the website, but if you choose to join us, here is how the bottles will be delivered to you, okay? So completely blind, and you'll see the bottles just like this. They will have a number 1, 2, and 3. We are going to taste 3 wines next Friday. So that is going to be a chance to see, you know, who is a great blind taster, and then we'll discuss blind tasting. We'll discuss how people taste blind, what do we have to look for, and then we'll taste 3 completely different wines from around the world and see if we can guess them, okay? So Brian's saying, first class I took with Florida Wine and love it. Thank you so much, Brian. Yes, be our guest. And then, you know, whenever we are back in business in Miami, you can be in here. So, yes, thanks, Robert and Jacqueline. Very good to have you guys. Nicole is saying it's like Christmas because it's wine every day, right? All right. Okay. Thank you, guys. Yes, of course. It was a pleasure to have all of you, and I look forward to tasting with you as well. If you want to join us, yes, okay. So, yes, thanks, Rusty. It's very good to have you and Christy as well. You know, gives us a sense of purpose. We do have DipWSET level 1 and level 2 coming up via webinar, so that is the way we are teaching right now. So it is on the website. You can check in there. Thanks, Anna. Thank you, Josefina. Thank you, Vicky. Yes, thanks, Kelly. Bye, Natalie. Yeah, thank you, guys. Samantha has the wines for the blind tasting. Fantastic. Happy Easter to those of you guys who celebrate Easter. And yeah, I see you guys then next Friday. Stay safe and tell me later about the wines, okay? Cheers, guys. Cheers.